Okay, welcome back everybody. Just before we start this story, we do have, well, why don't you tell us your name?
I'm Lisa Fortner.
And you are?
Georgia Blanchard.
And Georgia has given us permission to tell this story. So, because we want to help other people, but it's tough. It's tough, and it's not okay that Georgia, like millions of people worldwide, have been affected by vaccines. So they're here to try and stop other people from having this same problem of vaccine injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, so go ahead. Let's. So we have done your brother's story before. I don't know where or when.
Last year in Nashville.
So it's a whole year ago.
With Dell, when Dell was there, and Carson is he's 15 months older than Georgia, and so Georgia got the benefit of me stopping the vaccines when I saw what happened to her brother, but she was already vaccine injured by then.
What did Georgia have?
She had it was like the 6 months vaccines that was when she was 7 months.
Whoops. Hang on a minute, guys. I'm sorry. I have to stop. I've gone out. I'm so sorry. I've gone out twice on Periscope again. Sorry, peeps. I'm sorry. I've just got to get. Okay. Let me just go. We'll quickly go live, and I don't know what I'm thinking at the moment. That's the second time I've done that.
Oh no, are you human?
I don't know why I've done that. Okay, so we are Vaxxed should be joining us right now. Let me just see. Let me just check. Just 1 second. Bear with us. Periscope and YouTube. Well, anyway, I think that's working. Yeah, it is working. Okay, so we are Vaxxed. Sorry, I went live twice on Periscope by mistake instead of you. Just so you know, we are Vaxxed. This is Georgia. Georgia's 18, and she has given us permission to tell this story. And if she wants to, she'll speak. Otherwise, her mum's going to speak. So Georgia wants to make sure that no one else suffers. From vaccine injury, like all. Okay, good. Right, everybody's here now. So you were telling us that. Actually, very important question here.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is Georgia the eldest? You're the eldest.
She's the youngest.
Carson's
15 months older.
And then is there another one?
No, there's just Carson. He's 19 and she's 18.
Okay.
So
the coffee is brewing, people. I will wake my brain up in a minute. So when you were pregnant with Carson, could I have called you a crazy anti-vaxxer?
No, but
because you vaccinated your children.
Well, I was a nurse, but this was before the internet. But honestly, I believe if one person had said to me, this happened to my child, I would have researched it, and I believe just knowing who I am, I probably would not have vaccinated them. And Carson would be in college. He would not be rocking and hitting his head, and Georgia wouldn't be going through the difficulties that she is.
What kind of nurse were you? What did you do? Did you?
I was a peds nurse.
So you worked with children. Did you give vaccines yourself?
I never did, and I thank God, because I have enough mom guilt as it is. I would have so much. Not that I would assign that to any other nurse who stopped once they found out, but I just know myself, and I'm so glad I didn't. I was in acute care, so in the hospital, so I wasn't like in a doctor's office. So
you vaccinated children, and because of your brother, she didn't get so many.
She didn't. It was one day after his first birthday that he was severely. I mean, he had little seizure activity that the doctor said was normal neurological development, which wasn't.
Did you not know seizures are normal? It's a rewiring of the brain.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Georgia's 15 months younger than her brother, and I started like thinking there's just not something right here. The internet didn't. Well, I mean, maybe it existed in a little way, but not, you know, this was 19 years ago. So, and like being a nurse, we learned what they wanted us to learn, and our resources were our professors or the library. So Georgia was 7 months.
She's okay. She's himself.
She's sleepy, and she's been through a hard time, especially this week. Carson was already vaccine injured, and one day after his first birthday, and Georgia was 7 months, and she was 1 month late getting her 6-month vaccines. So she never did get the MMR. She got the,
Thank God.
oh gosh, which ones did they give back then? The
If she's 18 in England, she would have got the DTP, but maybe over here with the DTaP.
Yeah, it was, I think they had done the accelerated pertussis by then. I do not think that I got them, the varicella vaccines. That just seems stupid to me when it was proposed to me by the doctor, because like chickenpox, I had chickenpox. You know, like, why do we need to worry so much? But
So when it really affected Georgia was around 7 months?
it was that night.
So what happened?
Well, we were still co-sleeping with her. Carson had his own crib, and we had just bought a new crib because that night we were going to put Georgia in a crib for her first night. Some friends at church lost their baby to SIDS, and I freaked. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep my baby with me a little bit longer. And I really believe that God woke me in the night, because I just woke for no reason. Apparently, it was a reason. And Georgia was gray. She was completely gray. She had circummoral cyanosis, which means that blue around the mouth. Cyanosis is not breathing, and she wasn't. And I resuscitated her.
Thank God for your nurse training. Know what to do.
And but had I not awoken, she would have been one more SIDS baby.
Right.
And this beautiful child, who is now newly a young woman, who has so much change to make in this world, and just, she wouldn't be here. She wouldn't be here. So I stopped.
Was that was it for you?
That was it.
And then did you have a massive aha moment of, oh my gosh, or was it slow?
It was right about then that there was a little bit coming on the internet, but it was more like, not groups or anything. And I met a mom on the internet from another state that said that her autistic child was vaccine injured, and I'm like, okay, because I was wary, even though I didn't know, today's society, it's like regular terminology, vaccine injured, but I just knew innately something was wrong, and that wasn't right. And I started to go over the log in. Since I was a nurse, I would log in to Merck and the different pharmaceuticals, their vaccine websites. Some of them were available. It was just on the cusp of becoming the end user's internet, and you can log in as a healthcare professional or as just whoever, a person, and that dictates a lot of the information that is available to you. Probably now, after all the talk, that they probably closed that down a lot, made it a lot harder to get into the healthcare professional. But I read the vaccine prescribing information, and I understood, just both linguistically from from the Latin, and from being a nurse that was trained that way, I knew that these things were not good. And why are they putting these things into my baby and saying it's going to make them healthier and it's going to protect them, because these are not things I want in my child's body. And I was horrified. And
let's talk about Georgia. Georgia, you don't have to talk. You can keep sleeping if you want. Is this normal for Georgia to sleep? She's 18 years old. Is it normal for you to feel so sleepy?
Not really.
she's had a lot of trouble lately with some ADD, some...
Do they give you medication?
I take Strattera, atomoxetine.
She takes what?
Strattera.
I don't know what those are.
Strattera, and
It's just
atomoxetine is just the...
It's the drug name.
It's the generic for it.
For what? What is it for?
For ADD.
It's an ADD drug. And have you looked at the side effects of those? Does it make you drowsy? And
Yeah.
It makes her really tired. But she was literally... I did not want my kids on medicines, but because I've been on so many through my life, but she was suffering. I mean, she just could not... she's brilliant. She actually...
What were you suffering with? What was it? Just like pain or depression?
I mean, I can't focus for crap, and and the stress makes me like
and
It's
she's
just
having
stressful
anxiety
and
attacks,
anxiety.
and
oh yeah, I have crippling anxiety. That's right.
That
crippling.
please, people need to understand that that's horrible.
It is.
Is that your hand shaking?
Yeah.
And that's on a good day.
Can I see? I won't touch it. Just bring it
It's
further.
okay. You can touch her.
I see
Oh,
that
and
shit.
is that did you have that before the meds as well, or is it just since the meds?
I don't remember.
You don't remember.
I don't remember most days.
And do you go to college?
Oh God, no. I'm not.
She's in her senior year at high school.
Oh, she's got. Yeah.
She's on a 504, which is like a toned down IEP.
Individualized education plan. I'm a special snowflake.
What does that mean? I don't
It means that
understand all of
she's
this.
snarky as all get out.
You're not. Well, you're very, very
I
clever,
mean-
and your one-liners are. Maybe you should be a comedian because your one-liners are sharp.
I'm probably depressed enough to be one.
She is struggling with some deep depression that I wasn't aware of until recently, and it kills me because I've been through a lot of this stuff, and I do go through a lot of this stuff, and for my child to go through it, it kills me. She's having a hard time, and this is a child who she always has, even as a young child, put everyone before her. I don't remember the last birthday party she had where she didn't specifically ask her attendees, her guests, to, instead of bringing gifts, bring gift cards for a certain charity that she was focusing on. Or, you know, she had a guitar she was auctioning off to help the Autism Society of Middle Tennessee. And this is like when she was 8, 6. When she was 10, I had her tested through Duke University. She was declared a savant genius, 99th percentile in math and science. And yet she's struggling to graduate because of it. It has nothing to do with apathy. It has nothing to do with her intellect, her intelligence. She has crippling anxiety.
How bad is this anxiety? Do you have the very dark thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes, those things you're thinking, yes. I cried in the doctor's office when I read what she had checked off, and that's all I'll say. I mean, any mother can imagine.
It's mainly from the stress of school because of the way my brain's gotten screwed up, but
So school is really stressful.
Yeah.
Are the people mean to you?
No.
So you don't get bullied?
Nah.
It's just the stress of work?
Yeah.
The pound and pound.
Why
and
does she
pound.
have
She's
to
a
be there?
senior year. And you must, because you
I'm
need
an
to graduate
AP
and you need to go to
student.
school. She's an AP student.
Can't she finish this off at home? Why does she have to be there if it makes her so miserable?
We just completed her 504 yesterday.
That
We have
means
an
they're gonna-
alternate plan.
That means they reshaped everything so it's easier for me to get through the school year.
So things are going to change.
Yeah.
But it has hit rock bottom.
Okay, how can we help you? Because I don't want anything bad to happen to you, because
I don't know.
is there anything we can do to make you feel better or put you in contact with the chiropractors here? I don't know,
Yeah.
but all I know is that I don't want you to feel dark, and we don't want you, because people here love you. You're getting so many hearts of people that just are sending you love, Georgia.
Mhm.
You're loved.
Mhm.
She's an amazing young woman. She's in orchestra. She's a bassist, both upright and electric bass. I've had her fingers on the strings since she was 2 years old, since she could hardly hold the neck in her hand. Her orchestra teacher last year, who is also this year, she's in an audition only class. You have to audition in.
Really?
And yes,
Huh.
and Mrs. Cowan invited her in and then talked to me and not begged, but please can I have her as my bassist or one of my bassists. She's a vocalist. She's very gifted. She's an artist. And I'm talking, if you saw her stuff, you would think it was someone who was professionally trained, and she has a heart of gold. She's the kind of person who does something 110%. We briefly moved to Florida when her dad and I first divorced.
Can I just, before you carry on, Georgia, can you just see how much these people are sending you? Look at Robin Oris, who's our editor, works on our team. He's sending it up, and then this is, look, how those hearts are coming in there. Those are for you. This is people wanting you to know, is it frozen on you? How much, look at this here. Those are hearts
Look, I
coming
can't
in.
smile.
They're coming in
No.
around the world for you. This is not just America, this is around the world for you.
Cool.
Yeah, so please know, it's very important that you know how much you are loved. They're still coming in, so maybe your mum can show you those later
I will.
on We Are Vaxxed and Periscope. But Georgia,
she-
you very much are. Okay, it's very important you know that.
She's 110%. When we moved to Florida some years ago for a bit, we're back here in Tennessee now. She wanted to learn to surf, but the girl didn't know how to swim.
Which girl?
This girl right here did
The
not know how
girl.
to
Does your
swim.
mum call you the girl a lot?
I
I call Toby my boy, so I
Yeah.
get it.
So I got her a boogie board, and that lasted 5 minutes. And I got her a surfboard, and she wanted both the longboard and the shortboard, two very different techniques. She taught herself, and I stood there on the shore and watched for sharks. and her iguana would surf. I called them Gidget and Sharkbait. But this is just, insert any other thing, snowboarding, horseback riding, whatever. That's something I'd really like to get her back into.
What do you want to
Is
do, Georgia?
horseback riding.
What do you want to do? She's 18, I think. Georgia, I would like to see you off the meds. Don't just come off them. I want someone to help you professionally. I think meds have devastating side effects. I want to see you do something that makes you happy. I want you to be happy. All the people here desperately want you to be happy. So tell us how we can help make you happy.
I don't know.
You don't know how. But what about you have a think about it? And I'll put you in contact with a few people. Who thinks that Marcella Piper Terry would be an amazing friend for Georgia?
Mhm. I do.
I do. Anybody else thinking Marcella right now?
I
think Marcella.
We live on the outskirts of Franklin, and Georgia is a very good at horseback riding, and I know that's one of her happy places, and I want to get her back into that so that she can have that happy place. It's all hers. It's been, since I've raised them alone, and this is my burden to carry, is that she was so easy. She was so easy to raise, and her brother was so hard, and she didn't get my attention.
Well, siblings have a hard time as well.
But
so you got all of that
now
mixed
it's
into
her
one.
turn to...
Georgia,
What?
we got your back. You have just won a free t-shirt and a free hat.
Hey!
I'm only kidding.
She'll take
I'm
that.
literally kidding. We are going to help
like a
you.
bumper sticker, because actually adding to all of this, I don't know that you probably don't know. When we were, she and her brother and I were heading for the summer to Florida, and we got a little south of Atlanta, and we were hit head on by a truck. And EMS did not believe anyone in the car was alive, and we all survived.
Oh my
But
goodness.
this
How long ago
trauma,
was that?
this was July 1st.
This year.
This was July 1st, yeah.
Do you remember that, Georgia?
Yeah.
What happened to you? How sick? What? Did you break anything?
Break anything? No.
Like an arm or?
No, we weren't
She
injured.
and
She
she
was
and
the
her,
only one that was injured.
I was taken to a trauma center, but that was physical. What they're dealing with, they're still dealing with. The two kids is just extreme emotional trauma, like they needed more. So, yeah, that's what I was saying. It's one thing. She has some good people around her at school.
People are saying, Georgia, they're saying you're beautiful. They're saying you love, and they're just saying you're beautiful inside and out. They can see it
She
from
is.
here. Yeah, you are. So we're going to get you some help. I'm going to ask Marcella to help you, because Marcella is lovely. You'll love Marcella. And anyone else I can think of, and all these peeps. Now, I think you tell me your Facebook name.
Lisa Fortner,
Spell it.
Fortner.
And you spell Lisa Lisa?
Yes.
Some people don't.
Okay.
Some people spell Liese.
Whatever.
So Lisa, spell your last name one more time.
Fortner.
Right, so if you can help Georgia, peeps, and you've got some sensible suggestions for Georgia, we want Georgia to be happy, and then maybe one day Georgia can help others get out of anxiety and depression and things like that. So it all works like that.
Georgia's always been happy.
I know, Georgia. Just
But-
stay away from vaccines, and we got to get you off these meds. But we need some.
She'll never be vaccinated.
Please don't just stop taking them. I've seen so many people go nutbag crazy when they come off meds, just because they suddenly decide to come off them. So be very, very careful.
No, me having been a nurse, then we will titrate down. But right now, this is the support that she needed, some critical
Okay.
support in the beginning. And if she can just, like if we were back in Florida right now, she would be out on her surfboard, and I'm going to try and get her out on a horse.
Okay, well, I think, Georgia, the main thing is you can tell us what you want, and if school is making you so miserable and depressed and giving you severe anxiety, I'm sorry, but there's nothing in the whole world worth making someone miserable. Your life is short enough as it is. I say get the hell out, but that's just me. I'm not your mum. Georgia, one last thing before we go. These people literally love you to pieces.
Cool.
Yeah, really and truly. And all of them, if you need any of us, you just reach out to us, okay? Because these people will help you. You need a doctor, but the good one that doesn't prescribe medications for no reason. And then many, you're a sibling as well. You got to remember, it's very traumatic being a sibling of someone that's very injured by vaccines.
It is for her, because
So-
she has had to help me because I'm disabled, and she's had to
So
step in
Georgia,
there so much.
you got a truckload of worries on your mind.
She does.
And that's normal to have worries, but what we need to do is talk them out rather than drug them out. So we're going to go. I'm going to put you in contact with Marcella. Sorry, Marcella, I don't know where you are, but I don't know, it's a God thing. Because
But Marcella, you love
it was
Georgia.
Marcella. No, yeah, she's going to love Georgia, of course she is, but it was just like, I don't know where it came from. Do I ever do that? Okay, guys, we're going to go because we have more stories. And also, it's so hot in here, it's unreal. Georgia, again, one more time, they love